Hi, eighth grade. During this period, your goal is to finish reading this article and annotating, as it says at the top of the page, for claim, author's purpose, and how each is developed and supported. So, I am going to do a read aloud of this article. I'd like you to follow along, and then I want you to go back and find author's purpose, find what their claim is, and then give me some of the strategies that the author uses to develop those. Remember, some of strategies can be historical examples, personal experiences, facts, statistics, research studies, expert opinions, etc. Okay, so these are all things that the author uses to develop their purpose. And I want you to annotate for these. All right, let's get started. All right, keeping up with the Garcias. Latinos are now California's #1 group by Teresa Watanabe, LA Times, August 2015. Okay. Yolanda Garcia's grandparents came from Mexico and worked many jobs to send 6 children to college. Garcia's father attended one of the best universities in the United States and had 5 children. In turn, Garcia graduated from the University of California, Santa Cruz, UC Santa Cruz. She became a teacher and now runs a gallery that sells Latin American art. Along the way, the family moved from a poor neighborhood to a wealthy one. They were the first Latinos in their area. Now there are 4 other Latino families there. The Garcia story represents a California immigrant dream, but it is not true for all Latinos. The U.S. Census Bureau says that the Latinos have now become California's largest group. The Census Bureau is a government office that keeps track of the number of people in the country. Latinos now represent half of all Californians younger than 18, numbering 4.7 million, compared with 2.4 million whites. Closing the income and education gaps. Although Latinos have made huge advances, they also face many challenges. Latinos in California have lower incomes, education, and job skills than the average white Californian. However, the younger generation has a chance to close many of these gaps. A study published last year found that second-generation Mexican Americans have done better than their immigrant parents. In California and Texas, they achieved more education, higher earnings, and less poverty. They also held better jobs and were more likely to own their own homes. Only about 1 out of 5 Mexican parents had completed high school, for instance, but by 2005, 4 out of 5 of their children did. The University of Southern California, USC, professor Dowell Myers says it's amazing how much progress the second generation has made. They are still behind, though, according to Myers, one of the report's authors. We need to recognize how important these people are and how urgent their success is for the well-being of everyone, he said. Leaving their mark on California. Marilyn Padilla represents the hope in this next generation. She is the child of a Honduran immigrant mother who never attended school. Maria is now in college and hopes to become a Spanish teacher. We have come a long way, she said. Now we are becoming equals. We are doing that for ourselves. The growth in the Latino population is changing California. It has already begun to reshape the state's politics, schools, businesses, and neighborhoods. Although many Latinos do not vote, their numbers are so large that the community has a lot of power. In Compton, for instance, Isaac Galvin recently became the first Latino elected to the city council. Galvin and his 4 siblings were raised by a single mother. He pushed for information in Spanish about city council meetings and a translator at all city events. He says that Spanish-speaking residents are attending more city events. The growing importance of Latino shoppers has also attracted attention. Businesses such as Target Corporation are targeting the Latino population in ads. Nationally, Latino purchasing power has increased. It has gone from 700 billion in 2000 to 1.3 trillion in 2015, according to the Pew Hispanic Center. Rising influence of the new generation. In 2013, California gave more money to help students who are low income in learning English. The goal of the money is to increase student achievement even more. Statewide, Latinos have boosted their high school graduation rates and lowered their dropout rates, but they still haven't caught up with whites. Latinos are going to college in greater numbers. However, at the University of California, there are more whites and Asians than Latinos. Across Los Angeles, Latinos say education and voting are crucial to their future. Haiti Reyes, for instance, is part of an uprising of the second generation, as she calls it. These are young Latinos who move easily between Latin and American culture. She said her generation is living out the dream of their parents. Reyes's mother came from El Salvador to escape a civil war in the 1980s. She said the language barrier and cultural differences made everyday tasks difficult, such as asking for directions. Yet both parents emphasized the value of education, and Reyes graduated from college and became a social worker. As the Latino population grows, she said, more Latinos are in more public jobs. These help people see Latinos more positively. Latinos are now seen as elected officials and government employees, not just as farm workers, she said. It's a wonderful thing, Reyes said. We are a voice that is being heard finally. Okay, what I would like you to do now is to go back, like I said, and annotate for claim. What is the author trying to say? Figure out why is the author writing? What is their purpose? And then I want you to annotate for these different strategies that the author is using. This should take you about 10 to 15 minutes. Then move on to the multiple choice. Good luck.